Hello everyone, back for episode 12 of our full site build. We're going to build out this review section in this video. One thing I do want to point out is I had someone comment on the last video on our process card here. I'm going to go ahead and get in here once. Under our content for our counter, if we add decimal dash leading dash 0, it's going to automatically put that 0 in front for us. And the reason this is going to be the better of the options is if we get to say 10, 11, 12 and so on, it's not going to put the 0 in front anymore like we would have had previously. So this is the better option to go. Thanks for the comment on the last video. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to exit out of this. What I did prior to this video is I went into WP Social Ninja and added a review template with 3 reviews. I have my short code here that I can copy. So let's go back into our builder. We're going to create a new section. We're going to call this review section. Going to have an inner. In here we will have our section intro. Move that above my inner. Inside my inner I will put a flex div, and I will call this my let's call it content wrapper. And in here, if I go into my HTML here in between the opening and closing of the div and paste in my shortcode, it's going to put that in for me. Let's go ahead and BEM this. Right click, create BEM classes. All right, I'm going to click save. And if we go on the front end, we can see we're getting that in there. It's not perfect because it's trying to add in an image that is not actually available, but we're getting the general gist of it. If we look here, our background on this is going to be our background, our BG Ultralight. So let's go ahead and get that entered in. Again, we can use our quick actions here to put in I gotta put BG at the front. There we go. So it's kind of that grayish color. Inside my inner, nothing else I'm going to do there. On this, I'm going to flex row, and I'm going to go center and center on that. We're good there. And now we have the fun part of building out our intro component a little bit more. So I'm going to hit save. On my intro component, I do need a slot this time. So first off, if I double check, we don't have a pill, but we do have the intro heading. It does not have a lead, and it does have a slot. Inside our slot, we're going to put in our rating card. And you can see the coloring is not exactly how we want it. So I'm going to hit save on that. And we're going to edit our component. You can see we have no props set up for this. So I'm going to go ahead and create a select prop. And for now, I think I will call this theme again like we did earlier. And for this one, I will go light and dark. Then on here, I'm going to add a data dash, I'm going to go rating theme just so it's different than my previous one. I don't think that's going to be a huge problem, but we'll just be sure here. Props.theme, and I can add that. And for some reason, it did not add. So let's try that again. I think I might have forgot the equals sign. And it is there this time. I think I did forget the equals, or I put in a semicolon by accident. All right, so we got that in there, and similarly to how we did previously, we're going to now build out some different themes of these. So just like we did before, we're going to go and data dash rating theme equals, and we want to start with our light. And this is where I'm going to bring in my background from up here. And I think the rest of that should be okay. Then underneath that, we can actually probably go and let's go rating, comma, and review. Color white. The reason I'm doing that specifically is because our icon might have a color attached to it, so I don't want to accidentally change that. This way we can always just catch the color here. So I'm going to actually take my color off of these. And I gotta make sure I spelled those right, and we can see our color is working now. Now I'm going to take this entire part, I'm going to copy it, paste, we're going to go our dark theme, and this time for our color, we want our just secondary color. Again, it keeps wanting to put dark in there on me. And our color should be white again. I want to double check this. Actually, I guess I could have left the color as white even on the dark, but I'm going to do this just in case later on we need to change that. And I think that's going to help. We have to change our border color. So I'm going to take this out of here as well. And we'll place that after the background on both of these. And in this case, I'm gonna just leave this as border of none in this case, because if we look at this, there is no border around it. Oh, I lied, there is a dark border on that. So let's take that back. 1 pixel solid and secondary dark. Okay. And it did not expand that for me. There we go. All right. Next, I want to double check this on the front end. I click save. Exit. I do also want to grab this and put that in our intro here. Got to wrap this in a span again. And I'm going to hit save. We got the right colorway going on here. And on this one, if we change this to our dark color, and you can see we are getting that to show properly. Now you can see our data is a little bit different here. If we go up to our original, there's 35 reviews, established 1999. So we can do this a few different ways. I think since we have 3 different pieces here, I'm going to make those into props inside here. But before I do that, I'm going to come up to go to Metabox and my custom fields. And I think under general, we'll add a few fields here. So inside here, let's add a number field. Actually, I want to change that to a text field. And if we do, let's see here. I know there's a way to do this, I just haven't done it in a little while, is to add in so we can, I guess what I'm trying to say is, so how we have the 35 plus, we can add that in automatically so it always has the plus. And for the life of me, I'm forgetting exactly how to do this. I'm going to change our ID to number of reviews. Maybe if I leave, actually go back to this and make it a number field. it'll give that to me. Yeah, so we can prepend or append, and I'm going to put that plus in there. And then let's add in another field here, and this will just be a text field. The year established. And I'm going to hit save. Let's go back up to our business settings. Put 35 in there. You can see it's putting the plus afterwards. We'll see how that looks on the front end once we get there. In 1999 was when it was established. I'm going to hit save, come back in here. We'll save on our builder, and I'm going to hit refresh just to make sure that we can get to everything we need to. Expand this back out, expand this. On our rating card, we're going to go ahead and edit, scroll all the way down so we can see it. And I'm going to add 3 text props. So I'm going to call this rating. I'll call this reviews, and I'll call this a call out. So now if I populate these, it's automatically going to pull that, and this should be stars, not starts. Okay, we can see we have this pulling in here, and I want to hit save. Now if I recall right, there is potentially issues with putting in our dynamic data as defaults. We can test that out if we want to. And I think one thing I want to do here is put some dynamic data on this last one. So I'm actually going to take this here and remove it on this one. On our call out, I'm going to wrap this in a condition. And if I go back to our actual conditional logic, I think there is a way to do if it's empty. Let's play around with that. So if not props dot call out, want to hit save on that, and we can test out our dynamic data in here. If I recall right, it's not actually going to work. We got to do this, or sorry, it's options dot metabox dot biz settings dot number of reviews. And I'm only going to test that out on this one. I'm going to copy that just so we have it. Click save. I'm going to hit exit. Okay. And so we can see that did not actually work. All right. I may have, there we go. Business settings. And of course, it's not actually giving us our appended plus along with this. Let's go back in here. Just want to double check this again once I actually spell it right. So it is working there. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put the plus right there. I'm going to hit save. And actually what I'll do on this is I'm going to copy that, and this should be rating, I believe. Oh, we didn't put that in. Let's go back and put that in as I'm going to do current rating. Hit save. Back to my business settings. That was under general. On this one, since it didn't actually add our plus in here, I'm going to take that out because it doesn't need to be in here. I feel like there is a way to include that, but I'm not gonna try and figure that out right now. All right, so our next field is also going to be a number. Minimum will be 1, max will be 5, and increments will be 0.1. I'm going to move this up a little bit, and we're going to call this current rating. Let's hit save on that. Exit here. So we got our 35 there. Now let's see if this shows up. It does not. Okay. Let's double check that. And I need to actually go in here and enter in a number. Save. Save. Let's refresh. Okay, we got our 4.9 stars, our 35 plus reviews, and you can see that showing up there as well. I need to figure out my conditions here. Okay, I'm going to hit save and exit. And now if I take this out, it still does show. Okay. Let's double check this. All right, one other thing I want to try on this is if we actually take this out completely. And I think that will do what we want. Let's exit out so you can see we have nothing there. And if we paste that in, it's not going to give me that dot again. Just going to go steal it from the front. Okay, so you can see that shows up. So I think we're good on that one. I just don't have a default. So I am going to copy this. I'm going to hit save. I want to come up to my top one. I'm going to enter that in. Everything else I'm established in 1999, 35 plus reviews, 4.9 stars. We're good on that one. On this bottom one, we want to take this out. And if I want to add to this, I'm going to have to actually put in my dynamic data here. And that is options.metabox.biz settings dot number of reviews. If we scroll back down, we can see this is working. .9 stars, 35 plus reviews on Google. And we are good to go there. So let's take a look on the front end. And you can see we have that working. We have two different versions, this one here and the top version here. Again, using different variations, I have my reviews showing up fairly close style-wise. It's not, doesn't have more than 3 currently, so there's no slider controls, but there would be if I had more than 3 in here. So we should be good to go on this one. Sorry for the confusion a little bit there, but we are squared away and should be good to go. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Drop some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think of the series so far. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.